Just
Yes.
loads of it at home. I don't know if it's like tax anxiety. I'm just like, I'm ready for the tax season to be over. I just keep drinking Founders.
Yeah, we just had to do all that today.
All of my business comes from CPAs.
Don't
So
be.
I'm ready for them to be done.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's bring up Instagram here. All right. Well, we're guesting it up tonight.
Back to the guests.
I just ate the last of my pizza brez. It was delightful. Air fryer is the way to go.
Reheat on the air fryer?
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Nice and crispy.
I did the oven last time and it was good. It was real good.
I did oven when I brought it home. I felt like I was trying to think, like, do I ask them to like undercook it when I was there? And then when I was there and I got I went to order and I was like, I kind of feel like a dick just being like, hey, can you undercook it? I'm going to drive home.
Or you just eat half of it while you're there and get it fresh.
I
Every time I hear Creed now, I think of Pizza Brez. I think of the Detroit style pizza now after our last outing up there.
Oh, right.
every time there's like a meme with like Creed playing in the background, I'm like, man, I miss that pizza.
I will say, so my wife does not do anything spicy. My choice is the hot honey pepperoni.
Yeah.
And I can confirm that is a vastly superior pizza to the OG.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, even my dad was just over today, and they said they had the white pie next to the hot honey, and he was like, it's like flavorless like side by side. It's like, thanks, Dad, I guess, but
like a backhanded compliment.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like not a huge fan of white pie, so I understand, I guess. I don't know.
I kind of wanted to do the pickle pie.
Yeah.
But I didn't know how that would go well or go over. I have a pregnant wife, so everything's sensitive. Yeah. So I was like, man, I really want to try that. And then a couple of people at the office stop at the brewery, and there a couple people were like, oh man, we want to try that asparagus pizza. I was like, asparagus pie. I don't know how I feel about that.
It's good. It has like a lemon garlic aioli, so it really is,
Ooh, okay. You won me over.
Probably a nice springtime pie.
A little zest that'll make your pee smell weird.
You're gonna say taste weird.
Tastes weird. Tastes weird too. I don't like when it tastes weird. Come out of the bathroom, I'm like, honey, my pee tastes weird.
It's because it's sterile and I like the taste. All right. Well, let's intro Brez to my my algorithm.
Yeah, what does that mean?
So
this could be fun.
My Instagram algorithm for like Reels, it's a carefully curated mess of human disasters.
All right.
I'm surprised it hasn't ruined my iPhone yet. Honestly, the stuff he sends me, I feel like my phone is just slowly on like the downturn right now.
It's a tough scroll. It's a tough scroll.
It's infecting. It's slowly infecting my algorithm. I try to purge every week, but it just keeps coming back.
But I think the big thing that's affecting it is because I save Reels to bring up on the podcast. So then, like, the more you interact with them, the more your algorithm gets tailored to that. And
don't blame the podcast, man. Yeah. This is your scroll. This is your doom scrolling at 11 at night.
Yeah, one reel a week isn't really doing.
So yes, but I do stack. I stack reels. I have a nice backlog of atrocities.
Good Lord.
But it's been because I've been saving all of these horrible musical reels. Now I get a lot of them, like, we're just really bad, like artists that are getting like 10,000 clicks, but you go into the comments section and it's people are just like hate watching.
Yeah, you go and you watch it and you go, why is this person getting so many likes? But then you go through the comments and they are just gold.
Yeah. So we briefly touched on this guy last week. He has an extensive amount of reels, and they're all cover songs, and he
Beautiful.
sometimes outperforms the original, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Last week we listened to his cover of "Believe" by Cher.
Yeah, that's the one that just got me.
Yeah. So I will I'm gonna bring this up here, and he's gonna do a nice little tribute to Kurt Cobain.
Oof.
Yeah.
It's less dangerous. Here we are now. Entertain us. I've been stupid and contagious. Here we are now. Entertain us. With delight.
So, guys, initial thoughts.
A lot of enthusiasm, as always. We get from Tatum.
Yeah, just Tatum.
It's different than what I was expecting. I guess I was expecting the worst. And
Ooh, Tom. Man, he's really calling out your algo now.
So no, I don't know. I thought it was gonna be like I gotta look away. So
there have been some.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So what made me go to this, Dan, as bad as this is, still better than the Puddle of Mud cover. When Puddle of Mud covered Nirvana.
Oh, when he did Nirvana. Yeah, that was awful.
I will
say he does sound better.
So I'm reading the caption. It's definitely very much like
oh yeah.
He's putting his heart into this.
Yes.
That's and we wonder that every time we get one of these, like, are they really putting their heart into it, or is this part of the gag?
Like,
yeah, right.
We've talked about the line between sincerity and satire is so blurred now that you don't know like what's what.
Right, for sure. Yeah. I mean, that I did have that thought the other day looking through Instagram. I'm like, maybe this person just understands how to get views. That's all it is.
That's what I'm thinking as well.
Oh yeah, there's definitely that. And it's become so hard to tell what's what.
Yeah.
Have you seen Puddle of Mud do their cover of Nirvana? Brendan?
I don't know.
If so, I'm going to give you one more listen to this, and then we'll cut to Puddle of Mud.
I feel like I must have, but I don't know. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I don't know.
Ooh,
it's less dangerous. Here we are now. Entertain us. I've been stupid and contagious. Here we are now. Entertain us.
Okay, very performative.
I also must say, you did not let that play that long before you gave me like a reaction.
So you got some full Tatum there.
Yeah.
He got an earful of Tatum there.
Yeah. So let's bring up the old Puddle of Mud here. So this one, I mean, Dan, we covered this.
Yeah, this is a throwback, and I mean, this was Sirius, I think, on Octane.
Yeah. Trainwreck Nirvana cover.
See, like at first you're like, okay, I mean, it doesn't sound that bad. Oh.
You hang me out to dry. I can see you every night. Rain.
It surprises me that not a single member of that band isn't like just smirking a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought the bass player was doing it for a second, but I couldn't tell.
It's again, it seemed like if somebody told you like that was satire, you'd be like, sure,
Right.
I get it.
Yeah, that like if you told me that this was like a skit inspired by Tim Robinson, I'd be like,
yeah, definitely Tim Robinson-esque, like the
Yeah.
faces and everything he's making too.
Mhm. Yeah, it's enough to make Kurt Cobain come back from the dead and blow his brains out again.
And then coffin flop on Corncob TV.
Corncob TV.
We didn't do shit.
Yeah, it's just really, really bad stuff.
Whew.
So
And the
there we are,
comment
we're warmed
section
up.
is always good too. Yeah, you get the guys in the comments on the videos there. I love the day 2 of asking for Man in a Box. I can't wait till he does Alice in Chains.
The guy's got a lot of he's got a lot. We're back to just Tatum, Dan. You talking about that guy?
Yeah, I'm talking about the comment section
Yeah.
of the Instagram, which is something we usually grab. Like as soon as we listen to the video, it's like, all right, we gotta see what the comment section goes.
Yeah.
And it's with this guy, it's always great because there's one guy just keeps asking for Man in a Box, and I love it. This was the second video we've seen where and I believe he did say day 2 of asking for Man in a Box.
He's got a ton. Let's see. He's got. Oh, it doesn't give me the real count. He's got 1,700 posts.
Holy shit!
So I mean, he's done a ton. I mean, the Believe cover of Share was just that was really it was a reach. You know, it took a lot of balls to do it. You don't really see a lot of Share covers, and in his styling.
Yeah. No, I mean he went out there, and I mean his profile is the perfect intro for this podcast because nothing makes me want to drink more than listening to that guy for like 5 seconds.
And it's not just Tatum, Dan. It's just Tatum.
Oh, Tatum.
Yeah, just Tatum.
Just Tatum.
Yeah, Justin Barona is his name. So it's not Tatum.
Oh, okay. I thought his name was Tatum.
Yeah, I think that's where your mind would go.
He looks like a Tatum. I mean,
yeah, he
does
does.
That haircut, man. I was looking at those bangs. He had a haircut like the nihilist from Lebowski.
Yeah, but all right. So let's get into this episode, Dan. We'll get the audio going. Brez, you want to start off with the lager or the pale ale?
We can do a lager first.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into this, get our intro, and then we'll be right back.
Let's do it. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, we've successfully navigated some Instagram music, and now we're here.
Yep. Nothing says fully prepared for this podcast and to drink like Tom's algorithm.
I mean, I do what I can.
Yeah.
This is how I prep.
I'm so uncomfortable after every video.
All right, everybody, welcome back. It is the best friends podcast in the world. I'm your host, Tom.
I'm your other host, Dan.
And we are joined by a guest tonight. We are joined by the pizza man himself, the
man with the pies.
Yeah, the ranch dressing czar.
Yeah.
Brandon Breslin from Wishful Thinking Brewing. Thanks for coming on, bud.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been a while.
It has certainly been a while. Big Papa Brez.
I like that we introed him with like everything about his pizza and said nothing about the beer.
Yeah.
We're just we're like the master of the pies, the ranch man. Oh yeah, he brews beer anyway. But
I think
get
about
to the beer.
pizza the least probably nowadays. So
What's that?
I probably think about the pizza the least amount nowadays. So
Yeah, because you're not really making the pies anymore, right?
I mean, I had to step in the kitchen on last Saturday because everyone who worked in the kitchen had to take the day off. But it was probably the first time in like 6 months, which was definitely a good feeling. It's easy.
Did you get like the knuckle crack? Like, let's see if the old boy still got it.
Yeah,
pull out the wide pizza spatula and everything. You're like ready to go.
Yeah, just getting in the zone.
All right, well, guys, you know what to do. Give us a follow, give us a rating, give us a comment on Spotify. We do that still. I got yelled at this week, Dan.
In the comments.
I got accused. The bit accused me of censoring him. He said that Spotify and myself are shaking hands as censoring his comments from last week.
Oh, he did go hard, and we didn't want to.
Yeah.
We don't want to besmirch anyone on the podcast that we already haven't besmirched like 9 or 10 times. So
yeah, we're still holding out hope to get on that podcast. You know.
Yeah, we might still be. Yeah, we had to maybe they had to move some things around to get the governor of Pennsylvania on it.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure it's just a case of our invitation getting lost in the mail.
Yeah, I'm sure our invitation's lost in the mail somewhere. It's probably, I mean, they mailed it out probably before they got Alan on the podcast, right? Right, Tom?
Maybe.
Come
on. But yeah, so it is still 2020 vibes.
Am I allowed to be on this podcast? I was on that podcast.
Oh yeah,
you were on that podcast.
He was on that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even Brez got on there before us.
Wow.
Or Alan too. So
you led into Alan, man. Yeah, we have a yeah. You know, it's not like we've had him on the podcast like just a multitude of times, but it's sure. Invitation's lost in the mail. It's lost in the mail.
I'm blaming USPS. You know, it's got to be something like that. It's definitely nothing personal.
Yeah, for sure. But it is 2020 vibes. Like we did with Mike LaRosa, we asked Brez to give us an idea of what he's vibing to. So he sent us a song. I listened to, I gave it a listen. I was like, what are we putting on here?
I was like, what the hell?
What is this song called?
Dude, I immediately jumped into a Guy Ritchie heist video. Like immediately, I'm like, is this from a Guy Ritchie movie? I swear this is from a Guy Ritchie movie.
I immediately had that thought of like, it does sound like early British hip hop.
Yeah.
And then they start going, I was like, is that fucking Gaelic?
Using your phone to translate it.
I used to hang out a little bit in New York with a rap group that had a couple songs in Gaelic, and I was like, this sounds familiar. And I had to like look it up, and it said Gaelic. I was like, oh my God, it's Gaelic rap.
Yeah.
This is unreal. But anyway, it's 2020 vibes. This is a Brez joint, so we're starting right now.
I ain't caught in this fucking pub me and I ain't getting fucking done. Oh fuck, here comes that don't pay up. They make me do bad stuff. Try and make me look like a city boy with food and paying enough.
Bro, I'm running through like a club with a bag of money in a Guy Ritchie movie. Just running through like it's a club scene and I'm just running with a bag of money and a gun.
It keeps me going during the day, you know?
It's definitely a vibe, man.
Yeah. I have to start looking into these guys. So that is as Irish as I am, I can't pronounce that word, but it's by the band Meek.
Yeah. My dad actually showed me them, and he was like, they sound like they're like the new Beastie Boys, and they're like bringing back the Irish language in Ireland, and there's a lot of progressive movements around the band, so it's pretty cool to hear like what they're doing. And yeah, when they played Coachella, I like made it a point to sit down for their show, and they did a Maggie's in the Box chant and got the whole crowd like going, and then it went right into that song, and it was just like the bass was so heavy, and I'm like, this is wild. This is just so fucking intense.
Meanwhile, the original Misfits could barely stand on the stage for their set.
Yeah. And these guys are just like, crowd surfing. Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, they're wearing like shiesties.
Yeah, and they have a documentary. It's a documentary, but it's definitely not, it's not totally rooted in reality. There's some weird scenes in it, but I don't know. They're a really cool band, and we're going to go see them in October, so it's gonna be fun.
Nice.
Yeah, I had to look up. So the one group that I used to kind of hang out with a little bit in New York was the Rubber Bandits. I don't know if you ever heard of them.
No.
They were like a comedy hip hop group, but
They're like the Irish Bloodhound Gang.
Very similar. But they wore plastic like shopping bags over their heads, and they had them like made into like shiesties. And I was like, I saw a picture of the one guy wearing the Irish flag shiesty, and I was like, is that the same guy? And it's not, but I was like, oh my God, what is with Ireland in this look?
Yeah. I don't know. It's funny. I mean, I guess some of it's the documentary is based around the DJ is like an English teacher that doesn't want to be recognized from the crowd.
Oh, okay.
So he wears it, but I think it's also a nod to the IRA and stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's definitely a nod to that.
Yeah. These guys are definitely up with the raw.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's get into this beer. So obviously we've talked about the pizza, but it is a brewery.
Oh, for sure. So people don't know that, I feel like, but
all right, so let me share my screen here from this wonderful website, Untapped.
I got beef with this title anyway.
So we're gonna be featuring Grow Taller, which is a lager. Dan gets very triggered by
I don't know how I feel about your choice here, so but
Dan's 4'8", and he's been told this for 43 years.
Come on, man. I'm 5'4" and a big quarter. Okay. A big quarter.
A generous quarter.
Yeah, it's a big quarter. All right.
So no description on Untapped, Brez. What
fill us in on this beer.
After the multiple times that I had to yell at Untapped reps to stop calling me, I don't feel like I'm able to use that as much as to just put a description up. But it's it's a lager, 5%. I believe on our draft board. I don't actually think it's on the draft board, but it's definitely like a pre-prohibition style lager.
Okay.
I don't even know what brewery was talking about it on Instagram and stuff, but they were talking about cluster hops, which I kind of like did some digging, and it was like the original C hop, used a lot in like New York lagers, like I think Genesee, and I'm not trying to think of the other names of the beers that were mentioned in the article. But then like Yingling has cluster in it. So I was like, all right, I want to try this hop. All of our lagers have New York hop, or all of our lagers at this moment pretty much have New York hops, 100%. We try to source our lager hops from New York, New Jersey, or PA. We might do like a Saaz lager soon, but we really focus on local hops, local malt in the lagers. And so I started there. It's a cool hop because most of the hops in New York are 13% alpha acid, so it's like tough to make like a lager with those hops because of how high the alpha is, how bitter the
Yeah.
hops in the beer. So this one is, I believe it was around like 4 or 5. So definitely was able to kind of
Okay.
like spread out the hops throughout the batch, kind of brew it in a way that like Pilsner Urquell is brewed, where it's multiple additions, the same kind of IBUs, but also get like a big hop charge in the whirlpool. Yeah, so then I kind of was like, all right, I got to use cluster hops. What am I going to do from there? I think I remember seeing an email from Double Eagle Malt that they had heirloom corn coming in. So
Nice.
yeah, I can't remember the percentages, but it's basically it's Rabbit Hill Pills, might be a couple bags of Double Eagle Pilsner, and then Double Eagle Munich. So Rabbit Hill's from New Jersey, Double Eagle is all Pennsylvania grown, and then the Pennsylvania corn.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
I think it came out really good. People are like loving it. And it's like, yeah, it has that like malty, biscuity, toasty thing from the Munich. But it has that snap from the corn.
A little bit of that's
I mean,
like almost like the
now a little
sulfurous
bit.
kind of like
Yeah, and
taste to it.
yeah, and our lager yeast definitely doesn't dry out the beer out as much as most people like their lagers to be. But I think the corn definitely adds that like summer drinking, summer like citrus, allows that hop character
That's
to come through.
yeah. Awesome.
All right, let's get cracked into this thing and give these hops a try and get a little pre-prohibition-y. 3,
go.
2, 1.
Ooh, yeah. I love what corn does to like the smell of like an American lager.
Yeah.
I do like that, like in your beer descriptions in the beer list, like you do have listed, and the same thing with your food menu, like where everything's sourced from.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's a huge part of it is like making sure people know every time they order a beer, like that they know they're getting the lagers are all local source ingredients other than the yeast. I mean, the yeast is even grown in a lab in Philadelphia. So,
okay. Nice.
like these, for the most part, at least. Yeah,
You've got true farm to table beer.
Yeah. And yeah, what is it? What's that called? Land beer, I guess, is the
beer from the land.
Yeah.
I've had one from Schilling, though. Delicious little land.
Yeah. We want to make sure like that's kind of known because obviously it's costs a little bit more money. It's a little bit more work on my end to order things, get things rolling. So, and also, yeah, I don't think anyone's really doing what we're doing, at least in the Lehigh Valley, in regards to local malt. And I'm starting to see more people pop up in like local brew days and stuff like that. So I think it's good. And I mean, the biggest thing for me is like, I have a personal relationship with Scott and Alan from Double Eagle, Hillary from Rabbit Hill, Dennis from Hudson Valley Malt, which like we only used a couple times last year, but we're hopefully going to expand our relationship with them. And, Castle Valley Mill, we've been using for beer and pizza. We use a different mill now for our pizza, but we still use some of their corn and stuff in the beers. And then, just it's cool that I talk to the people who are working on our ingredients and we have like a personal relationship outside of the business. Feels great. I mean, obviously,
it feels good to support local, but you also have that like relationship outside of business with
them. Yeah, and I mean, I think that's the reason that I'm still in this industry is I kind of take that to heart and I let it gets me going, and doesn't get me like burn out anyway.
Jaded and hating the industry and opening up an ice cream shop somewhere in Philadelphia.
Right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
You think he's watching right now?
No.
0% shot.
Absolutely not. Oh man, this is nice. I like the little bit of the hop zip it has up front.
Yeah.
Beautiful dry finish on it. Poured it straight into the mug. Had to go full foam on it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But yeah,
It's,
delicious.
it's got a little bit of like a citrus zest in there, peppery. Definitely get like a little corniness to it.
Like your glasses.
Mhm.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think there's also like, I mean, I'm really happy with how our lagers are turning out. I think there is kind of like a wishful thinking flavor that is just kind of comes from Rabbit Hill malt, Double Eagle malt. Bethlehem water is like super soft, so that kind of like adds to like the Pilsner Kel Pilsen type flavor profile. And then the New York hops, obviously, like I don't know one really around our area that's using New York hops in their lagers, and also it's naturally carbonated. Like, I mean, probably 95% of the lagers that we make is like 100% naturally carbonated. Like, as long as the beer goes into the bright tank and the readings look right, I don't
really? Wow.
add CO2. So
It's awesome, especially nowadays with how hard it was to get CO2.
right,
It
yeah.
still is, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, still it's expensive and stuff like that, but yeah, I mean, when I was at Stick Band, like some of the beers would kind of like accidentally get naturally carbonated. And I was like, this isn't that hard to do. I'm just gonna like roll with it. In the beginning of wishful thinking, I thought I was gonna try to naturally carbonate all the beers. With IPAs, it's just so tough. I actually tried doing a like Citra Mosaic IPA and naturally carbonate it with a process. I was like, this isn't as good as the last one I did, and that wasn't naturally carbonated. So maybe one day we'll bring it back, but it's a lot of like timing and like knowing when exactly to pull the yeast, and I don't always, if I can take a day off, I'm not going to go and do one little thing to the beer. So
I have a day off. Let me run and do let me do a hazy real quick. Yeah, that's what you want to do on your day off.
Let me double dry hop a hazy and then waste 3 hours of my day. Yeah. So yeah, I think this is definitely a good example of what lagers we're putting out right now, and it's like definitely a beer. Like, we have a 15-barrel tank at the brewery right now. We're brewing like 7 to 8 barrel batches. But this beer is definitely a possibility of going to 15 barrel and keeping it around. But
started to become like the staple for like regulars and people come in there.
Yeah, I mean, I think Sense of Source is our flagship pale lager that we love to have on because it's all double eagle malt. At the first batch was like a really great nugget hop from New Jersey. And then now it's like a New York nugget with a little Chinook. And I think it's great. All our employees say it's our best beer.
Okay.
Maybe I hold it to a higher standard, and I always want to be tweaking it, but
you're tougher on it than everyone else there.
Yeah, and I think that first batch, maybe it was just because I don't know.
I think it happens everywhere too. Yeah. Like at every brewery, like the owners are always hard on like that one that's like the most popular among everybody. They're just like, I don't like how that beer comes out, and they're always like tougher on that. And then everyone at the bar is like, it's fine. This is delicious. This is what we come in for.
Right. Yeah, and I think the name Sense of Source just like really simply explains like what the idea of our beers are and how we're trying to get not just a sense of like time and place, but a sense of like where the product's coming from. I see a lot of people just kind of like get excited about like German malt, and like, yeah, we just brewed a beer with Czech malt with Second District, and it was amazing. And there's so many benefits to it. Definitely excites me to be like, okay, we're using local malt from local farmers. They could be our customers.
Yeah, exactly.
We get to like hang out with these people and get to know them. I don't know. I think Sense of Source is like definitely like, I think actually I went on Pilsner Kel's website once and I just like Google translated a bunch of stuff and I saw that phrase Sense of Source or like of the source. I forget what it was. Because Yeah, like in Pilsen, it's considered, or in Czech language, it's like the source.
Okay.
What they call it. So I kind of like ran with that idea, making it like our Pilsner Kel, like our 12 lager. So yeah,
and it's your mission statement too for the brewery and like how
Yeah.
you approach brewing and everything. It makes total sense. It's actually cool and kind of refreshing to see that, that you're able to kind of work with these people and like foster like, this great relationship with them. It's refreshing
Yeah.
to see like in the brewing industry.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. There's definitely a lot of negativity in the brewing industry right now, and I've been reading some articles about how maybe people are getting maybe a little overwhelmed with the negativity, and maybe that's not as is that the industry is not in such a bad place than most people think. And I definitely think that way. I think our brand is exciting in the Lehigh Valley, and there's reasons for me to think that the industry is a little better than it is. But
So you're an anti-bubble guy? You're a bubble denier?
I'm not a bubble denier, but I'm a
He's riding the bubble.
I'm a
He's riding the bubble. He's like, man, I'm having a good time.
Yeah, I'm a guy who, if you're gonna open up a brewery just to make money, don't open the brewery up.
You're looking for the A1s from day one, the people who are like we're passionate, and that's why they're opening up the brewery. They're not trying to capitalize on an industry to make money, and if they are, it's gonna be a bit.
Right, yeah, for sure. I mean, like I don't think we'd be in such a good position if I wasn't doing most like the hardest stuff, not like the hard brewery work, like the like if I like I'm bringing on my brother as like as an employee just to help me out in the brewery because we're getting to that point. But like if I wasn't brewing the beers right now, like we would be maybe in a tighter financial situation and stuff like that. So it's like being a brewer-owned brewery is like romantic, I guess, if you want to call it that. But it's also like financially freeing in some senses because okay, if we don't need to worry about like another how many thousands of dollars a month for payroll. It's just me. Like, I mean, we obviously need a budget, but it allows us to kind of use local malt. Maybe the lager sit for another 3 weeks and longer than other breweries would be able to, and have these little things that allow us to be unique in the area. And it also obviously comes out on our Instagram and our menus and stuff where we're like, all right, these ingredients need to be listed and it's important to us.
I think it's been proven that the people that care about the product are the ones that are succeeding and sticking around.
For sure. Yeah.
Right. The breweries that you keep seeing close all around where, while yes, you never want to see, businesses go under, but the ones that go under aren't having a huge outcry of people being like, oh my God, how could this happen?
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely, there's definitely a theme to a lot of what's going on. I think it's like, we've talked about it with calling it a bubble. It's exactly when a bubble bursts, people still make it through the other side. And the ones that make it through the other side are the ones that are good at what
and have a passion for it too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, some days I have to definitely step back and be like, I could be in a different job doing something that I don't like, and I have to just like that. And yeah, if you chose to be in the brewing industry and you didn't have that like drive or passion for beer, I mean, the one thing when me and Sam started talking about Sam from Bomb Place about renting the Bavarian Tavern, 702 Broadway, where the brewery is situated, we were driving in his van and we're talking, and this is before we signed any leases, before he agreed to anything. And I think he got a phone call or something. I forget, something like was stressing him out. And he was like, "Are you sure you want to open a brewery?" And I just looked at him. I was like, "What else is there, dude? Like, there's not like, and that's like what you have to have is like that
that
'Cause I feel
mentality of
yeah,
like, this is what I want to do. Like, there's
yeah,
not
'cause
a alternative to it.
yeah, and you have to kinda have that, and I'm not saying that, like it's kind of, like, tough for me to, like, stomach almost because it's like, "Alright, like, what would I do here?" You know? Like, what would I do if I didn't have the brew industry? But, luckily, we've situated ourselves in a good way that it's like, with the pizza, with the unique pouring styles that we have, with the unique beers we're producing, like, we're able like, I do feel confident in our brand and how, um, it feels good to see that I think we're building a really good foundation for our brand, and it's gonna like be able to outstand, any tariff or any of these things that might come our way.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely hit the nail on the head when you mentioned the pizza too. You have a very, it's not saying negatively, but a simplified menu that allows you to just like have something that you're really good at and it's easy to put out. And then you also have like, the main focus being on the beer and everything.
Right. And I definitely like, yeah, I mean, when I feel what you're saying about, when we were talking about sense of source and how like nitpicky I can be with that beer and how I judge it a little differently. The pizza, like, I mean, I've been doing the pizza for, I don't know, like 6-7 years now, like counting like the time I was experimenting at home. And we sometimes test the doughs just to see like how they're doing, if they're a couple days old. And I remember the one time the one cook was like, "Oh, you really like you take this seriously?" I'm like, "Yeah," because like I've had shitty doughs before, and I
Yeah.
knew what to look out for. And like, yeah, it might maybe I'm crazy, and maybe no customer will ever realize it. But like, if I think if this pizza is like 97% good, like we're toss the dough. It's fine. It takes 25 to 50 cents to make. Like we'll throw it out.
Yeah. And that's refreshing, honestly, to see. Like, some people just be like, put it out. It's fine. Just do it.
Yeah.
Having that mentality is why I still think about that pizza every night when I close my
Right.
eyes. So,
You guys also have a cool community up there as far as like the beer goes, like the Allentown, Bethlehem, Easton, like breweries are kind of unique to where you have a bunch of really good breweries that are all, you could do a pub crawl in that area. You have McCall, you guys, Bond Place, Seven Sirens, you have Brew Daddy.
and everyone's kind of different. Like, it's
Yeah.
definitely not like there's not like any sort of uniform, like, this is what kind of beer you can expect in that area. Like, you guys are all different and all have a different vibe to it, which, yeah, like you said, for a pub or like a beer crawl would be great.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, obviously we're the closest to Bomb Place. And yeah, but every place kind of has its own vibe, its own thing. And it's not really, I feel like some people look at it and they think it's competition. And obviously, like, I guess if you really look at it, it is competition, but there is like Bomb Place obviously has their English style and their comfortable tap room where you can kind of just like forget about the day and just get lost in there for like 7 hours and drinking cask ale or nitro or they put out great saison like that. And then Seven Sirens can be more of a college bar and feel or like more of I call it club, but like something like a little bit more upbeat.
Yeah, I remember the first time walking in there, I'm like, man, they got couches in here. This is crazy.
Yeah. And then McCall, I feel bad. I haven't been to McCall in like over a year, just because it's like west and my house is east of the brewery. And but yeah, that also, they're making like really just like consistent beer and food. And they definitely have like a great model that seems like a lot of people appreciate. With like, and the food is always good. We've eaten there a few times, and yeah, I mean, like everything's always so like just like solid with them. that it's like a trustworthy place that you can go and like know and get like a great meal, great beers, and like great service. And yeah, the other part, it's funny, like the other part, if we don't know the owners of the brewery, we probably know like one or two people that work there.
Yeah.
And, it's like a great community of not just like brewery owners or brewers, it's like bartenders and it's staff. Everyone's kind of like supporting each other, and yeah, it's a funny Bethlehem's like, yeah, it's like Philly but just much smaller.
So we have a question here. This is a throwback to the episode where Phil here filled in for Dan. Phil filled in, it's on there. What's your take on mustard on pizza?
I'm a fan. I'm trying to remember. We've definitely done we did an Oktoberfest pizza, and that was like just great. Sometimes I feel like our pizzas though are more of like a vessel that could also kind of replicate like a sandwich. So,
yeah, because it's very like focaccia style bread.
Yeah, but I'm not opposed to like anything on a pizza. I mean, like if it's right, if it's right, like that mustard, like the acid, everything that goes along with mustard, like I think
a little spicy brown mustard.
If the ingredients combined,
Yeah, I guess there's some pretty harsh mustards out there that I'd probably say no to, but I don't know.
I would go. I mean, I like a so what it brought it up was like we were talking about like what goes on pizza, like how it fits like everybody's taste differently.
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, like my cousin got me into putting spicy brown mustard on pizza.
Oh man,
I don't know if I would get like I feel
regular
like
pizza, just straight Delco trash.
Yeah,
right there.
Real Delco garbage.
Oh, so you're talking about like literally using the mustard as like you dip the pizza in mustard.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Just a cheese
I
pizza.
feel like I have this for another food option. I'm trying to think of what it was.
That's definitely a choice.
I don't think like a French's yellow would be great. That might be too sharp.
I've had some good honey mustard chicken before, like on a
Oh
pizza.
yeah, I mean honey mustard will go. Like a
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A sauce. Come on, like that would be great. But yeah, let's Dan, how are you doing on your beer over there?
I'm almost done here. I can wrap this
All
up
right.
and we'll move to the
I think we
next
should
one.
move to the pale ale, and we I have some questions written down. I did some
you hand wrote questions.
No, well, I did it Drake style and put it in my phone.
Nice.
But I'm
glad that's the only Drake style you're doing.
I did prep for the episode tonight, which is rare.
Wow.
They do French's yellow in Jersey, which makes sense. It's a stupid swamp state.
Except for the places that Brendan gets any of his ingredients from.
I will say I'm sitting in New Jersey right now.
Oh yeah, you're right near I always forget how close that Bethlehem Easton is to the New Jersey border.
So you're a New Jersey resident.
Yeah, I mean I could probably maybe with some practice, I could throw a football into the Delaware River from here.
All right, Uncle Rico over here.
Yeah,
back in Brez's day, he used to be able to throw a pigskin a quarter mile.
Yeah, I could probably hit a golf ball. Let's say that it's probably better.
All right, it's always so weird to see a brewer living in Phil Murphy's state.
Why I need to start them outside. That's the difference.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. If you think about it,
Phil Murphy hates you.
Well, Mike Locke lives in Jersey. He's got broken goblet.
That's true.
So,
but Phil Murphy specifically hates Brendan because food in a brewery,
right?
How
boy,
dare you?
It makes people more drunk.
Yeah.
Somehow.
I guess. Yeah. All right, so we are going to be switching over to it's an old school episode, Dan. We're going lager and pale ale here.
The old lager, pale ale.
We're not going haze. We're not going crisp and haze.
Yeah, I mean it is a hazy pale ale. So
is it hazy? I thought he said this one was clear.
No, float away, right?
Yeah, Shattered Illusions is the cold IPA.
Oh, you're doing Shattered. Oh, we're doing.
We can do either. I don't care.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
Yeah.
which one.
We can do 3.
We can do 3, Tom. Don't worry.
I cannot do 3. I can't get buzzed. I have things to do tonight.
I've had like,
Oh, I gotta be a responsible adult that has
Yeah,
kids and
how
all that
dare
stuff.
I.
Oh, geez, on a Monday night.
Ooh. Yeah, so we're gonna do float away. Let me bring that up. Not the illusions. Illusion, Michael.
I do like Float Away. We actually had this, I believe, when we stopped in. This was on draft because I remember there was a pale ale on draft. I mean, this is one that you guys have on frequently.
yeah, this is the second batch.
Second batch. Okay.
When were
I feel
you
like
guys,
we had it.
when were you guys there?
We were in there in December.
December, yeah, for Creed.
I don't think it was on. It
Oh,
probably
wasn't?
on. I'm just trying to think what maybe there was a Looking Forward was maybe on.
You know what? I think Looking Forward rings a
It
bell.
might have been. Yeah, I remember. That kind of sounds about right here.
Can you hit the show? Can you hit the show more? Because I don't remember all the hops that's in this one.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, cool.
Nelson.
Yeah, you guys use a lot of New Zealand hops in your pale ales. I
Yeah,
noticed that.
I think they're like I think they're like just so much better than American hops right now, and or maybe it's more people are using American hops, so it's easier to get really, really good New Zealand hops.
Wow, if you love it there so much, why don't you move there, Brez?
But I think they're just so nice, and like they're like very dank, but also so fruity.
They're flavorful.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite beers are the ones that have like Motueka and Rawaka in them. So and classic Nelson right there, like the OG of the New Zealand.
Right.
Yeah, I mean it's been said a ton on the podcast, our affinity for the New Zealand hop.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean Rawaka is like, yeah, it's crazy how much it like stays in the beer, and how much it's almost. I think I brewed a beer within the Whirlpool, and it almost was still too much, like pouring. Like it was just like
really?
super resinous, and it was almost like too much to how I like our beers. Like I did like a side by side with all our hoppy beers, and I was like, this is the only one that wasn't Citra in the Whirlpool, and it's like, it just is a little bit more grassy. So it's just funny. It's like maybe I don't know. Maybe I only have to use half the bag or something in the Whirlpool or something like that. But yeah, but
Damn, you could have called this beer Half the Bag. What a great name for a beer.
I do like half the bag.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Write it down in your moleskin. All right, Dan, let's get a crack here.
Let's do it.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Wow. That is just a blast to the olfactory.
Oh yeah. I do love the because I know you guys are passionate for the lagers, but I have to say, like, having some of the hazies at your brewery on the side pools are just they're like it's like I tell people when I recommend them to come out to Wishful Thinking, I say, like, have a hazy on that thing. It's like drinking a cloud, man. And like they come out so fluffy. Sure.
Dylan,
I've definitely kind of come around on hazies with the Lucre. It's just like it does have that like intense cloud, foamy, incredible texture.
Yeah, it's so refreshing, and having I was like completely sold on them.
Dylan's calling attention to this nice little photo here. Smile for the camera with your IPA, sweetie.
Also, it's funny, like, what's that hazy in a mug?
Dude, I'm doing it.
Well, yeah, but that's a second district, so it's funny. I don't know what that would have been.
Oh man, insanely good.
Yeah.
Guest beer.
Yeah.
So they're at second district. Okay.
Yeah.
I was looking at the photo, like, where are they Where are they? It was like, that is not the back room you have
Ooh.
there.
Yeah.
Your little beer hall.
Ooh, got a little foam on the nosy when I was going. Give it a little smell.
All right.
Ooh, this is good. All right.
Yeah. Cheers, boys.
Dive in, guys. Cheers.
Cheers.
I love the hazy pale ale for what it is. Like it, some people can't really get that dry like finish that makes it kind of like that pale ale. Like sometimes I'm just like, just call it an IPA. Like you tried,
Right.
but yeah, you definitely highlight that like beautiful, like just kind of like a drier like finish on it, like less on the palate. On the back end. Up front, you get flavor bomb, and then it just kind of has a nice dry like exit, which I like.
Yeah, I mean, even our IPAs are probably drier than what most people try to go for in IPAs. I mean, I started using this ale yeast strain when I was at Pottstown United. I tried bringing it to Stickman and saying to Ethan, like, hey man, like if we use this, I don't think we need as much lactose in some of the beers. Like it brings that body, it brings like a little bit of sweetness, but it kind of like doesn't dry it out. Like there's a balance to it. It also like brings like the hop character comes along with it, but it also brings like a level of like with some hops, it has like a melon, this like nuance flavor that I love and like.
It's like a tropical fruit or something.
Yeah.
Like, I know what you're getting at. It's like almost like a tropical melon kind of like vibe to it.
Yeah, and I know most people are using like this juice blend or whatever it's called from Imperial, and this is like one of the strains that's in that, and I don't know. Sometimes I feel like those beers come off just like one noted, or they don't let the malt and the hops shine. It's kind of just like all hop or all yeast character, and I think this one really allows like everything to come through. And yeah, I've used it since 2019, and I think it's great. I mean, I've definitely, like what I was saying earlier about the Lucre faucet making the foam and everything, like kind of bring me around into hazies again. I think just like being able to craft the hazies the way I want to drink them, definitely is like brought me around to it. And also like realizing that like people do also like have that taste for sessionable hazy beers. Like they don't need to lack flavor at all. It's just like you need to bring them down to a point where they're dry, they have that body.
Easy to have more than just one.
And you're not coating your mouth with the hops, but it's like they're there, they're present, and
it's a balance of all the, like you said, it's a balance of the hops, the yeast, the malt, like having everything being displayed versus like the other yeast strains that only highlight maybe the hops or the yeast, and you don't get that malt. Having just an overall balance on, I think honestly, hazy pale ales have been just taking off for me. Being able to have something where like I still get the the hoppy juice bombs, but I can go a few more rounds than just like that one double IPA before I go to bed. That's going to make me sweat in the middle of the night.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and I mean, this is like Riwaka, Motueka, and Nelson, the dry hop. So it's like 4 pounds per barrel or maybe 5 pounds per barrel. And it's definitely the most hops we've put in a dry hop. But it's like, it's tough for me to like now go back to only doing 3 pounds per barrel or whatever our normal one is.
What it was. Okay.
Yeah. I think it's great. I think it, like Full of Content, which is the other beer I gave you guys, the hazy pale I gave you guys, like it definitely stands up to this one, but I think that extra like 10 pounds of hops just like really like brings the body kind of up and like hits the aroma right on the head.
Absolutely.
So you talked about brought up Stickman. I think the last time we talked to you on the podcast, you were at the end of your tenure at Stickman there.
As a young boy.
Tell us the journey from Stickman to Wishful Thinking.
Yeah. So when we talked last, we were doing Pizza Brez. So we stopped doing Pizza Brez like June or May or June of 2021. It was a short-lived stint at Stickman.
It was right after I left. They couldn't handle it anymore.
Yeah.
Literally, I left, I think, in May of 2021. I think you were like, in all transparency, I'm on my way out too.
Yeah. I mean, and I think I even was like very transparent with Ethan and everything. And I was like, hey, I have like some investors that are interested in opening a brewery. Like, obviously, like I'm working 80 hours a week with Pizza Brez and Stickman. So it's like, why don't I do this for myself? And also, like, I was driving like an hour and a half each way or an hour each way. So it was just like, it was a lot. And obviously, like, as much creativity as I had at Stickman, which I was very like thankful for, it was just like only 95% of it. You know, I always had to get approved. I always had to like get these things that like always limited me in certain ways. And whether that's just like the way of not owning it fully, or, you know, it was a very complex situation there.
The bags of lactose just mysteriously showed up all the time. You have no idea where it was coming from.
Yes, very much. And also, you know, after the whole rat magnet blow up with the industry, I was definitely like feeling some kind of way, being in the industry, as a lot of people did. And so I just, like, you know, I got out of the industry. I worked at a machine shop that my father-in-law owned, who my father-in-law at that time was like interested in investing in the company. And so we were kind of like, hey, yeah, come work for me. Yeah, obviously, you know, do your thing, but like also like we'll start looking at other spots, and we'll kind of keep it in the back of our heads. And so after about a year there, I was kind of
over it.
Yeah, so Pizza Post started to become a thing like within like 6 to 8 months, and it was kind of not blowing up, but it was like, hey, like, wow, me and Jackie could like kind of like use this to fund our lifestyle, because most of our lives were spent working. So it's like, if we could go out for dinner once a week and pay our bills and start working towards a brewery, like we can make this happen. And then 2023, Tosca, which is the brewery in Mount Airy at the old Earthburn Brewery, they put out a post about how they need a brewer down there. It actually worked perfectly, because they were kind of like, hey, we don't think we need a full-time brewer. And I'm like, great, I don't need a full-time job. Like, this is great.
Part-time brewing position. All right.
Yeah. And they were also like, we don't need to like manage you. And I'm like, yeah, I don't need to be managed. I can get these beers on tap, clean the tap lines, make sure you guys are serving beers just great. I'll be here early in the morning, and I'll leave probably by noon, and you won't see me. But you guys will. So that was great. You know, I worked there for a little over a year, I believe. And it was great to get back in the industry. I mean, like Shattered Illusions, the cold IPA that one of the beers that I said we could drink tonight kind of like came from one of the early beers of that. It kind of was just like I wanted to brew a cold IPA, and that batch is still their flagship, which I don't know if they've changed the recipe at all since I've left, but it was just like Simcoe, Chinook, Citra, and maybe Amarillo, but I can't remember the last hop. And I was just like, this is amazing. Like I really hit it out of the park with this beer, like got really lucky. And like the first 4 beers on at Tosco was like an amber lager, a Vienna lager, cold IPA, hazy IPA, and a wit beer. And yeah, like it was great. Brew pub job, working in a basement like I have worked before. So it was yeah. And like I kind of they gave me a free pass to like do whatever I wanted to do. And but obviously, as I was working there, I was doing pizza. We were working Pizza Post, and for people who don't know, Pizza Post was a mobile food unit. So basically, a food truck that was operated out of a Subaru / trailer.
Yeah, I was gonna say you had the little trailer too.
Yeah, and we used anywhere from 2 to 4 uni ovens, so those fire propane ovens, to make Detroit style and also Neapolitan style pizzas for between 2022 and 2023. And we went to breweries like Rebel Hill, Hidden River, Root Down, Free Will, Bond Place was like, we did like a Thursday pop up at Bond Place. Trying to think where else it was.
You guys hit at the right time with that too, because of like the food being required for breweries to have and everything. And like, yes, brewery, prior to the pandemic, a lot of breweries were, the BYOF, like bring your own food. It was really just, they had no food options. So coming back from that, being like having to pivot, especially like, Rebel Hill example, had to pivot to no food and like double our output, get more tanks. And having that ability to be like, damn, let's get some Detroit style pizza out here, and just being scheduled, that was clutch for breweries.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the one thing that sticks out to me that obviously, like being on both sides, was also so coming back in and having like the Pizza Bread's Instagram account, obviously mostly like Stickman followers and followers of the Montgomery County area. Like when Hidden River reached out, like Kevin was like, "Hey man, would love to have you come out." That first event, I felt pretty embarrassed because we sold out in like 30 minutes, and I could go and I could talk about that night for probably 3 hours and how crazy it was. But and then we learned and we figured it out. But and Kevin, I love Kevin to death. He supports me, and he's just shown us love throughout the stages. But it was a hectic fucking night. But then also going to Bald Birds was always like a great reception too, because it was like 20 or less than 20 minutes from Stickman. So it was always great to have that kind of like inner circle of supporters that kind of like would always message us, or like, they would always show up to the events. But then also from like the industry side, like you at Rebel Hill and Greg and Andrew at Free Will and Kevin at Hidden River and my buddies at Bald Birds, and they kind of like felt good about bringing us on, because they were like, they won't call us at 2:00 on a Friday and say we can't show up. So they kind of had like they kind of like wanted us there, because they were like, we know you're going to show up, and we have this trust.
It's that industry trust, like like how it would feel on like the brewery side. So like exactly, like it's just knowing that they know the industry and being like, they're gonna come in, and do their, they're gonna do their thing, they're gonna do it well, and they're gonna leave there, but they're always gonna be there.
And I mean, the other place I just thought about, which it's just, I guess I don't really think about this era of my life, because it was fun, but it was definitely having a pizza shop in a Subaru was interesting. Was like Forest and Maine too. It was like, I think that was probably the place we went to the most.
I would say you guys kind of closed out with just like Forest and Maine hitting it like pretty hard there, like towards the end of Pizza Post. You guys were there a lot.
And I think some of that was to do with like certain events that we promised them to do. Rob like was such a good friend of ours, and we met him like the first event, and like he's a great guy, and but the other thing was like maybe 3 events in, it was a Friday night, and like 40-year-old dudes were walking in ordering 4 to 5 pizzas, going into Forest and Maine, drinking 2 beers, walking out with like a couple 4-packs, picking up the pizza, and then going home. And I'm like, okay, so if we do this every Friday, it'll catch on, and we'll like have like Pizza Post. It was me and Jackie working it, so it was like the margins were just like it was fine. Like as long as we sell like this, I don't even know what the numbers were, but like as long as we sold pizza and like paid our bills and like did these, like it was pretty easy.
And you met the numbers, and that was
low risk. So I'm like, this is like, as we're working on Wishful and as we're building a foundation for what we want to be brewery side, this is a pretty good gig to get us rolling. And then as soon as we signed the lease with Sam, I was I was trying to put as much time into Tosca and the brewing job as possible. And also obviously there was a lot of work to be done in Bethlehem. So we I don't even remember the last event we did. Also baking pizzas in the ovens. Love the uni ovens, but I will never use one ever again.
They went the way of Marketplace. Hey, who wants these?
Yeah, I mean, they're still in the trailer in a parking lot somewhere that we're probably gonna do something with. But yeah, I mean, the one event that I tell everyone about is the farmers market in. It's right by Forest and Maine. It's like
Ambler or whatever.
Yeah, I guess it's Ambler. I feel like it's not Ambler, but I don't. But we did 80 pizzas in 4 uni ovens in 2 hours, and it was a blur. And it was 90. It was 95 degrees outside. I think it was June 2nd or something of 2022, 2022 or 3. Probably 2022. No, 2023. And it was just I ate a huge cup of Rita's water ice afterwards. I was like, I'm never doing that again.
You just had to get something in your system.
Yeah.
You need to be sugar replenish. I need
you're the farmers markets, whatever. And then it's what the fuck is going on?
You had the beer fest experience where it's 95 degrees, but it's 150 on the blacktop parking lot that you're in.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
With an uni just breathing
in the ovens just surrounding me. Yeah.
The soles of your vans are melting on the parking lot.
It would have been great for the health department to come by and be checking temps of our food, because I'm no, get away.
It's all up to temp. Don't worry.
It's hot enough.
Yeah. A natural heat lamp.
Yeah.
So you go from Pizza Post to Wishful Thinking.
Yeah.
That eventually comes into play.
Yeah. So we signed the lease September of 2023 with so Sam owned the building at that point in time, and we signed the lease with him. We started working on an idea to kind of allow us and Bomb Place to manufacture wort in the back space. And then there's also walk-in coolers back there, and there's a lot of opportunity back there to produce, to store. There's also a private bar back there that maybe one day we'll use.
It's funny because Dan produces wort in his backspace too.
I don't know why I'm being targeted on this podcast, Tom. The Grow Taller references I get, but right there, come on, Tom. Coming at me too hard here.
But yeah, so Jackie and I got married in August of 2023. So thanks. So we kind of we're all right, we'll do a honeymoon? We have a lot going on, all this stuff. And then I was talking to Sam one night about European beer culture, and I went home to Jackie. I was like, we have to go to the Czech Republic. It's stupid for us not to. And at that same time, I was registered for a video conference with some Czech beer educators. Luker was going to be in the lineup of speakers. There's actually a few other people that were in the lineup of speakers that I didn't know about at the time, and I probably should listen to them. And now that I don't know them personally, but I know of them, and I should stuck around and listen to them because it was probably really great information. But when Jan from Luker got up, he said the line of I'm a foam preacher, and
nice.
It definitely stuck out to me, and I wrote into the chat. I was like, hey, can I customize, or can I make a Luker tower that has 8 faucets, I believe? he, I think, I think like the person read it out to him, and he's like, yeah, just email me at whatever his account is on the So I emailed him, I was like, hey, my wife and I are going to the Czech Republic and to Prague for our honeymoon. Like, would love to stop by the factory to check it out, to talk to you, to maybe design a tower, or just, you know, buy one of the stock ones you guys have. But would love to see it. So that was probably like a month before we went. So we went over Thanksgiving week of 2023. It was a very mind-blowing trip where, I mean, I said to people, yeah, just the best part of the trip was like kind of realizing that it is what it is romanticized to be. The pours and like and there are the tourist traps and these things that like kind of like, or there's the respected bars or the dive bars or the places that like you do get great Pilsner and you get these great, but they don't pour as intense as we pour at Wishful or the that are being talked about. But there's certainly the bars in Prague that are like as good as it can get. And and
you're
then
here on a beer pilgrimage, we got you.
Yeah. So that's what our honeymoon consisted of. And so we met with Luker and they brought this tower, and it was and Jan was like, this is the tower that people like say like this feels like I'm in church because it's like shiny brass, the cross shaped, beautiful, shiny, polished. And we were like, well, this has 4 on it. Can we get 8? He's like, I don't think that'll be a problem, but we'll throw it to the engineers. They can figure it out. And that kind of started a great relationship with Jan, who's like the sales rep of, I feel like at that point he was a sales rep of America, but I feel like now I don't exactly know his role right now. But then Andre, who's the head tapster, he was the Pilsner Urquell master bartender of 2021, I believe. And those two were the ones that came in October to teach our whole staff on how to pour beers properly.
Yeah.
Which was a great experience because I actually was emailing Jan like, hey, I'm thinking about doing a trip by myself to Pilsen. I wanted to do like a really like expansive training course, because the course in Pilsen that Jackie and we took like a really abbreviated course. The one that like they kind of market is like, go out drinking with them for the night. Then you like pour beers in a pub in Pilsen and all this crazy stuff. And I was like, I'd love to do that. He's like, oh, we're actually going to like come to you guys. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, there you go.
What? Okay. What? So I did also go to a trip in December back to Prague and Pilsen and had a very similar experience of drinking all night long, which was another whole experience of, I don't know. I'm just so much like my passion is beer and creating beer. But I think wishful thinking has become the passion of pouring the beer and we're so very focused on the creation and the recipes and everything, but pouring is the best. Getting that creamy, dense foam on top that is,
dude,
changes the experience. It's probably
it's how I describe every to everyone. It's like, oh, you know, what's a beer like? I'm like, it's an experience, man.
Yeah,
that's what I say.
Yeah,
like the beer's good, and it's like it's an experience.
Yeah, it's go for the pizza, stay for the lucre.
Right. And I think, I mean, like, even it's funny, like obviously the one thing that most people hate on in pictures and videos and stuff on social media is like, oh, that's not a proper pour and all this, or like that's a foamy beer or whatever. And I'm like, I literally cried. I have cried because I've gotten the most perfect foamy pour before. And you're literally saying that to shitty pour. Just come on in and we'll educate you and we'll teach you why it's good. And then they're like, well, didn't it dissipate before you drink it? I'm like, no.
Drink
the foam. Consume it. It is so amazing.
Become one with the foam, my friend.
Yeah, exactly. Good. Yeah, good shirt.
Yeah, I mean, I stopped it as a good shirt. Become one with the foam. Name of the episode. I stopped. So I stopped in to grab the beer and grab pizza. While I waited, I had the dark check that you have on.
Yeah.
And just the pour from that, like that, it comes out. Look, it looks like an espresso, like a giant espresso with that like tan foam head on top.
Right.
It's just such an experience of like, it looks like it's poured like a milk stout. And it's just like, you get the foam mustache but the whole experience is wonderful.
Yeah, it's how I describe it to like the everyday, like the blue collar regulars that come in, and I recommend wishful thinking, like if they're heading out that way. And then I show them pictures. They're just like, oh, like there's so much foam on that. Is that like a full pour? I'm like, this is a 20-ounce glass. Yes, that is a full pour.
Yeah. Right. And I mean, like, it's funny. When we first got up and running, we had a lot of people. Well, not a lot of people, but like, on certain Facebook groups or maybe some Instagram posts, people like, oh, like saying things about, oh, I don't go there because they short your pores. And I was like, I'm not asking you to trust me to cure like science, like find the cure for cancer. I'm asking you to trust me in that we're not shorting you on a pore. That's all it is. Yeah. And like, I've devoted, let's say 2 to 3 years of my life to like learn about this. And it's like literally one of the only things I like truly love. And I'm like, just trust me.
Yeah.
Just come on in. This beer is probably the most expensive beer that's being brewed in the Lehigh Valley, at least, where the malt is premium malt, local hops. And it's like, you're not getting shorted. I promise you. Also, it's like, 16 to 16.2 ounces, like, or whatever. I'm just like, what it doesn't make sense. And we still see it today, but I'm just like, just trust me. I'm asking you to trust me on a beer pour, not your taxes, not your insurance. I'm just like, just trust me. Come on in.
Yeah, I tell people, I mean, like, it's like drinking a dang cloud. Every time the hazies, I'm like, it's like drinking a dang cloud. Like the foam on top of that, like how it sits, it's just beautiful.
You need to tell them like milk tubes are a thing for a reason.
Right, for sure. And I mean, I definitely have heard, like, I see, like, if you feel like you can't drink the foam, I get it. Whatever. Like, I get it. I don't totally agree, I guess, or whatever, but like, to each their own.
Yeah, it's different strokes.
Yeah. But like, I can, like, my whole like Tom's Instagram's all weird musicals. Mine is check videos that are like talking about the nuances and pours compared to like other pubs in Czech. So it's like most of the stories that get brought up on my Instagram are just like, how do I translate this thing? And I'm like, fuck. So it's like, just, you can like enjoy it. And I'm like, we're trying to bring you something that's like unique. It's also like our one bartender, we were at a bar in Easton the other night, and they served us, stadium pours of Yingling, and
stadium pours. I like that.
I drink beers I'll drink whatever, stadium pours. I don't necessarily like hate, but it's like, I don't enjoy it. Like, I don't enjoy as much as the pours we do at Wishful. And like, it's just, I don't know. It's funny. It's like, I could say the same, like, so when people say like, oh, that's too much foam, I'm like, all the beers you drink, there's no foam. And that's why would you do that to yourself?
Yeah. Watch an episode of Cheers and then get back to me.
Yeah. Right.
Like, my shift beer is always like, if it's off the Luker, it's a lunch pour. Like, I usually do like the 50-50 like lunch pour.
Yeah. I mean, the Schnitt is, I don't remember all the percentages of like what a Schnitt is, but that's definitely like a favorite of mine. And I think it's a great way to drink beers that maybe are a little bit more expressive because it's like mostly foam, a little bit of beer. So it's basically a 0.3 liter beer in a half-liter glass.
Yeah.
And it's like I was drinking schnitz of smoked lager in Denver and Cohesion, and I was like, "This, I could die here." Like this.
Yeah, that's the one I never made it out to in Denver. And
yeah.
I regret it. I did hit up Ratio, and that was awesome.
Okay.
But man,
Okay.
I regretted not going to Cohesion.
Yeah,
so
Cohesion's kind of in a weird area. So
yeah, it's not out. It's not in like the Rhino district where it's easy to get to.
We walked there, but it was probably like an hour walk. I would say.
Yeah, dude, it's to walk there is crazy because we looked it up and it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, like having those beers where it's like, I mean, even when I'm done working in the back in the brewery, like instead of drinking like full pours and like getting carried away, it's great to have these like schnitz where it's like you're mostly consuming foam, but it's like throughout, like, let's say like I'm there for another hour just like hanging out with people in the tap room. It's like,
yeah,
okay, half of the beer that I would have consumed otherwise.
Yeah, and it's nice to just ease out of like, especially like, a heavy work day or something.
Yeah.
You're coming off, especially like, you're back at house and everything, and like front of house, like after like a hectic thing, man, sometimes I just don't want to like take a full beer to the face. Like just ease me into like a lunch pour and like,
because most of the time you probably haven't eaten in like a couple hours. So it's like,
exactly. I'm waiting for that shift meal to come out and I'm like, all right, I'm just going to have a lunch pour real quick just to settle the nerves.
Right. And also it's like, I mean, at least for me, coming from like, I mean, I guess I'm kind of lucky that like I haven't had to experience it too much, but like it also says a lot about the beers too. Like with having so much foam in the pours, you can really like tell like, okay, did I fuck this batch up at all? Did like is how creamy is the foam and how are all these things presenting themselves? And I think the way we pour the full pours, just straight up like present themselves. But I think the Schnitt does, like, some people say, like some people say you go to a brewery to experience and you drink a Pilsner because that'll show like if a brewery is actually good. Some part of me is like, all right, if the Schnitt is if like that half pour,
if that foam really stays,
that foam like stays around, it's like, it can show a lot about our process.
Exactly. That's when we know the Kolsch is on point. Like, when we just put it back out on the new system now and like putting that first Kolsch like lunch pour, it was looking at it and just going like,
yeah, right.
All right, let's wrap this thing up. We're at an hour and 15. It flew by.
Yeah.
The beer talk was solid.
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of. I had like 4 questions. You kind of answer them all in one question.
he hit the gauntlet and got them all.
Yeah, I had Stickman to Wishful Thinking, Luker, pizza, kind of all encompassed in your journey.
The only thing I brought with me was like one little post-it note that said foam on it. That's all I had. I was like, I'm gonna write something down, foam, and that's all we're gonna talk about. You've made me a foam disciple, though. The first visit, the proof was in the pudding. Like having those first couple drafts, I haven't had like an experience at a brewery like Wishful Thinking since I was there. I mean, I just haven't.
Yeah,
you have a unique experience. You great food, great beer. That's all.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool, like you said, like with the Luker system, like church, like it's front and center when you walk in the door. The Luker system is right there in your face. Like that copper is like right there.
And you were one of a kind too, right? Coming into the States.
Yeah. So there's the one that we have is like a replica of some of the ones that you can see in Prague, but ours is most of the ones you see in Prague, or all the ones you see in Prague, are 4 taps. So we did the verticals so we could have 8 taps on there. So I think it's like the only one in the world, I would imagine.
Oh, world. Damn.
I'm not totally sure about that, but yeah, it's funny. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely the first in America, or at least I know, and I can't imagine that I wouldn't know about it at this point.
Yeah, your algorithm would have told you by now.
Yeah, right.
But if I was describing the pub, like if people are familiar with like Forest of Maine, like you guys have a similar vibe,
Right.
like a very like European feel
For sure, yeah,
to
yeah.
it. Like English pub, like very welcoming, like homey. It's like a very like chill, relaxing vibe in there.
Mhm.
You have a little bit of like if you go behind to where like the pizza window is back there, like
Mhm.
you have that like almost like a little bit of a German beer hall kind of feel to it.
Right, yeah. We definitely tried using longer tables to get people to kind of like sit with each other. I mean, that's the one thing in Czech beer culture is like grab a seat, find anywhere to sit. Don't be scared to talk to the person next to
Find a
you.
friend. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know how much that actually happens, but yeah, I think having those longer tables allows for more of like people to kind of like merge conversations and stuff like that. Also, yeah, we have a lot of bigger parties, families coming in, so it kind of allows for that. And hopefully, once we're able to open up that back space, we'll have some more like picnic tables, stuff back there to kind of like make it feel more of like an outside beer garden of sorts, or just like kind of make it feel like a longer beer garden in general.
That's awesome. So guys, check out Wishful Thinking. It's at Wishful Thinking
Beer, yeah.
Beer, yeah. At Wishful Thinking Beer on social media. They're out in Bethlehem, Hellertown area.
Yeah, Bethlehem, Fountain Hill. Yeah. It's outside.
Yeah, look them up. Go out, get some lucre, get some foam pours, get a pizza.
That foam pour was the background on my phone for like 3 months after we went there.
What was it?
I said the foam pour, the foamy hazy pours were like the background on my phone for like 3 months after that visit.
Yeah, we're turning 1 year old in 2 weeks, so we have like some fun events coming up.
Oh, that's awesome.
All on our social media, so
yeah, check them out. Wishful Thinking. Brandon, thanks for taking the time to do the episode with us. Thanks for sharing the beer. Yeah, guys, check it out. We'll be back next week. I'm not sure what we have planned yet, but
I'm gonna drink the rest of this beer next week on next week's episode. So,
I mean, yeah, maybe we'll do Wishful Thinking Part 2 without Brendan.
It's where we really talk shit on him.
Yeah.
All right, guys, this has been episode 257.
Yo.
See. All right, we are done recording the audio.
Get off the old streaming chat, and we can we can diss more people in the industry. I only dissed one.
Yeah, guys, thanks for sticking around. Thanks for
we didn't bring up Ardmore Brewing Company.
Yeah.
What's that?
the oldest brewing company in Ardmore.
Yeah, guys, thanks for being active in the chat. We'll catch you next week.
See you.